there is a version of this video where I tell you that Google is a dream of non-stop food and sleep in pods. And while those things are true, those aren't the things that stay with you. I've been a software engineer here for exactly over a year now. When I walked in, I knew the technical bar would be high. I expected the complex system designs and the steep learning curve as well. And that part was definitely true. But writing good code is just the baseline of what you're expected to do here. The unexpected challenge was everything else. From my first ever code review to finding my identity after a major injury, from mastering strategic curiosity and using AI to lead as a junior, to the brutal reality of context switching and burnout while building this channel. I'll also share how I use the one-on-ones with my manager to align on my goals and set the correct expectations, more importantly. And finally, I'll share how I found my identity when I could not write a single line of code. Here are the quiet, honest lessons that I've learned over the past year while working at Google. The first truth I learned is that English is the most important programming language. And hear me out till the end. I used to think that my value comes from how fast I can write a function or a piece of code. But at this scale, you don't just build things, you have to justify them. I learned that writing a design doc is actually much harder and more valuable as well than writing the code itself. You have to convince like 10 smart people on why your solution works before you even start writing a single line of code. I realized if I can't articulate and explain my logic in simple English, then my C++ does not even matter. And even when you do write the code, right, prepare for the software engineer's ego death. So initially when I joined Google, I had applied for the C++ readability the moment I entered actually. And it's kind of like a certification that says that, okay, you're somewhat of an expert in this particular language. But to get that certification, you have to pass certain hoops. Basically, you have to send out PRs to reviews from readability mentors. And they will tear your PR apart. Like I remember like a single PR, more than 50 comments, like variable naming, memory safeties, coding styles. It'll almost feel personal, but of course it's not. Use quality control. And that actually taught me that code is read 100 times more than it's actually written. And here's the full circle moment. Today I am a readability mentor and I try to adhere to the same level of guidelines and review others' PRs with the same principles. So that painful process was the only reason that I reached this level. To survive this, I had to master something that I'd like to call strategic curiosity. And unfortunately, as right as this sounds, like don't be afraid to ask questions anywhere, it's not very realistic. And more often than not, in our careers, we'll find ourselves nodding onto things that we probably don't understand as good as we'd like to in that moment. And it's completely natural. So it's very important to find people who are ready to teach within your team. And again, that might be a junior, that might be a senior, it does not matter. It's very important that they're ready to teach and you build that trust with them, you have that safety net. And in that safe zone, you can then be curious, right? I asked them all the silly questions in private and I learned that you have to be smart about where you learn. You drain the knowledge from this so-called safe circle and then you have the confidence to show up to big meetings and be confident in them. I also learned that you don't need to be a senior title to lead. You just need to be an early adopter, in my opinion. I dove deep into AI tools before most of my team did. And just because I was an early adopter, I was able to influence my team in the way that they code in their day-to-day productivity by integrating all of these AI tools in their day-to-day workflows. So that really felt really, really good. It taught me that value isn't just about tenure, it's about the fresh new perspective that you bring to the table. From writing code, design documents, and even debugging on-call issues. Like I have integrated AI into all of my day-to-day workflows. And honestly, the pace that I learn with AI, it's absolutely unreal. But the hardest lesson wasn't even about the code. It was about the shift. Balancing a full-time job at Google while also trying to build this YouTube channel introduced me to a new demon, burnout. And I had to start learning the art of context switching. I learned that mentally, I have to clock out of my job, whether it be 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m., whatever. But once that clock out happens, my only focus is Project YouTube. If I carry the bugs into my creative time, I ruin both. And to find the energy to do this, I had to make a big lifestyle change. Like I had to go from a consumer to a creator. I used to spend my free hours, watching Netflix or scrolling reels, but I had to cut that time to absolutely zero, like almost zero. Why? Because ideation takes a lot of your energy. Scripting will take a lot of focus, and setting all these lights up after 8 p.m. when I reach home takes a lot of willpower, honestly. I traded the quick, easy dopamine of consumption with the long, hard a marathon-like dopamine of building. It meant sacrificing my chill time to figure out thumbnails and storylines and new ideas. But honestly, that feeling has been so liberating. Like the feeling I get when I upload a single video that was built by scratch from me, that is a really liberating feeling. Yeah, I mean, that feeling is worth more than 1,000 hours of watching somebody else live out their life on YouTube or some other content platform, right? And then there is the art of alignment. The code is only half the battle. The other half is the environment. So there is a theory called the smartest friends theory. It basically says that you are the average of the 5 people around you. And at Google, I feel that this is amplified. I remember bumping into someone in the micro kitchen that literally was the person that I was following during my college time, their notes and their videos, for my personal learning as well. I mean, being surrounded by people this smart is definitely intimidating. But I also learned the power of proximity. I mean, just being in the same room as them drags you up to their level. You subconsciously pick up their problem-solving, patterns. It's uncomfortable, but it's the fastest way to grow. And then comes the art of alignment. I learned that the most important meeting of my week is not the team stand-up. It is the one-on-one with my manager. In the beginning, I just treated these meetings as sort of like status updates. I used to, blur out whatever I had done. But later on, quickly I had realized that, these are the meetings that are going to steer my career in the right way. This is where we set the goals. This is where I talk about the challenges that I'm facing. And I used to think that telling my manager that I'm stuck on something would probably make me look weak. But that was completely wrong. Like, in fact, they want to know what you're stuck on. They want to know the challenges that you're facing and the kind of complexity that you're dealing with. Like if I'm struggling with some problem, like for example, let's say I'm just struggling with some legacy code base, I make it a point to bring it up. It shows that I'm tackling hard problems. Plus, they're the people who fight for your promotion in a closed room. So if they don't know the complexity of the problems that you're facing, how can they ever advocate for you? So along with sharing my wins, I also stopped hiding my struggles. And yeah, that has been one of the single most important investments that I've done into my career growth, I'd say. And honestly, unlike the common advice, I never really learned to push back. And of course, this is my personal experience, but I felt that I was never working more than I wanted to. So I struggled to say no because I actually enjoy the grind and it's not like I don't want to do this. So yeah, but one thing my manager definitely taught me is that impact is far greater than volume. Just because I can do everything does not mean I should. Like if I close 10 tickets that nobody really cares about versus one complex problem that defines the entire quarter, of course that one complex problem wins every time. That really helped me channel my high energy into the right kind of work. Finally, the deepest lesson. This year I broke my collarbone playing football. I had surgery. From a physical point of view, it was a pause, like it was a complete pause on my life. And in that silence, I kind of faced like an identity crisis. When you work at a company like this, it's very easy to let your job title become your personality. But when I couldn't code or couldn't play sports, I had to ask myself, who is Satvik Batra without the company ID badge, right? I learned that you need to have an identity that your employer did not give you, neither can they take away from you. For me, it's this channel, it's football, it's badminton, it's reading, it's a bunch of other things, right? And they keep me anchored to reality. And I also learned to manage the so-called golden handcuffs, right? It's very easy to let your salary inflate your spendings and whatever. So I've tried to stay grounded, reminding myself that my job is there to fuel my life, not become my life. So 1 year in, I don't have it all figured out, but I'm calmer. I'm clearer on my goals, and I realize that my career is a marathon, it's not a sprint. But if you are aiming for a role like this, keep going. It's a great place to be. Just remember to bring your own life as well with you when you walk through those doors. Here's to year 2.